Hello everybody. I'm just wondering here if anybody could tell me exactly what this would be. I imagine not many people would know what this is. This is actually the beginnings of a Amish dish, and it's referred to as hog maw. Okay, does anybody know exactly what a hog maw is? A hog maw is pig stomach. Now, what I showed you is a cleaned pig stomach. It is taken out of the pig. It is washed, and it is also cleaned inside and scraped and things like that. Now, a lot of times when you get them, they have two holes in them. Usually a big hole and a small hole. Well, the one I got, believe it or not, I am lucky enough that it has half the side out of it. So I will have to make sure I clean up the side before I can go ahead and get it all stuffed. Okay, the ingredients, which I will go over with you, and I do it in a very simple way. I use Ore-Ida diced potatoes, frozen. I also use frozen onions, and I put cabbage in mine, so what I use is what they call a classic coleslaw mix. Not only does it save time, because you would have to go ahead and actually peel and cube potatoes for this dish. And when you cube the potatoes, you have to be very uniform on cubing them, or else they will not cook evenly. And that's very important on this dish, is to make sure it's it is diced evenly. So now I'm going to take a break here away from the camera, and when I come back, we'll be moving into some other parts of it. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back, and so what I usually start with is what you're going to use the most of, and that's the potatoes. Okay, I have a bowl that I'm going to put them in. I'm going to open up the box of potatoes, and I will dump the potatoes in. Wish I could show you these better. I'll try to get it better there for you. Okay. And then I will go from there, and then I will dump the onions into the same bowl. Now I only dump about 3/4 of them in, and then I mix it together, due to the fact that if you like onion, you can definitely put a lot more in. My problem is I have trouble dealing with onions myself. Now if they're cooked, they bother me. I like onions, but they don't like me. How's that? So as you can see, here's the bowl of onions and potatoes. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some of my coleslaw mix. Now this is not something that is needed. In fact, the original recipe does not even put cabbage in the hog maw. I like to add a little cabbage, because that way that actually adds some more flavor to it. And even though, again, I'm not a big cabbage eater, a cabbage cooks away. You don't even know it's in there. But that's what I use. I mean, like I said, you don't have to use the whole thing. You can just put it in there to make it mix up there. And so, again, I will show you the mixture. And now from there, what we'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll mix this around. We got it all mixed in, and then what I'll do now is I'll put some salt and pepper in, and that's always to taste. I was always told that you can always add more salt, but you can never take it out. So here we go. Now, what we'll do next is we will start adding the sausage when I come back, okay? Now comes the fun part. And the fun part is where we start stuffing the hog maw. Since my bowl is quite full and I can't get in to get it all mixed up, I'm going to do it a little bit different, but normally I would go ahead and put in maybe a quarter of the loose sausage I would put in to mix in with the cabbage and the potatoes. I'll do that a little bit later, but I can go ahead and start this without doing that. Okay, and to start this off, what you would do is you would actually go and start with your sausage. Get a pretty good chunk of it, about like this, and you stick it inside the hog maw, and you would push it down to the end, very end. As you can see, my hand working in there, and then you work it down in that crease down here, down in the end. You work it down in there and sort of smash it out while it's down in there. Once you do that, then you come back and you get a handful of the potato, onion, and coleslaw mix. And trying to so that you can see it. I purposely did not show you sewing of the hog maw. I don't know how many squeamish people there are. I mean, I already got them squeamish thinking that they're making a dish with pig stomach, and a lot of people say, why in the world did the Amish eat pig stomach? Well, the Amish have a philosophy, and if you look at any of the Amish books for cooking and stuff like that, and their recipes, one of the things that they do say is Amish, when they butcher an animal, and they say they use, like especially like with the pig, and with the pig, they use everything but the oink, and that's their philosophy with any of their food animals that they use for their food. They use every part of that animal that they can, and I mean that's where some of the things come from that you hear about, like pig's feet and souse and the scrapple that's made, which a lot of people do like scrapple. The scrapple is made out of really scraps, and they just basically get it so they can use up and let nothing go to waste. As you can see, I am taking and I'm getting alternating handfuls of sausage and cabbage, potatoes, and those type things. And that's how you stuff the hog maw, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm stuffing all that in there. A lot of times I do something more like a 2-to-1 ratio of the stuffing and the sausage mix, and then I'll also you can see right now what I'm doing is I take my hands and I force it in there and push it in there pretty tight. One thing you do have to be careful of, you cannot stuff these too much. If you stuff them too tight, you will have what's called a blowout in the oven. And the blowout, what will happen inside the pan is they'll shrink up a lot. And once they shrink up, sometimes it causes the skin to rupture, and then your ingredients actually come out into the pan and into the juice. And some people get a little upset about that. They don't like that, but it happens. You make enough of them, it happens. But like I said, doing it this way is one of the easiest ways to do that. This, as far as making a hog maw, the one thing that I do, the only thing that I see that is a negative to it is because you're using frozen potatoes and onions and cold coleslaw and cold sausage. Your hands get tremendously cold stuffing these. And when you get to be old like me, you have trouble handling the cold. And I've never found any gloves that you could wear at all. So I have to take a break every so often and warm up my hands. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, I'm back here. What I've actually done is, you probably noticed, is I've changed locations for where I'm stuffing these. Okay. Which unfortunately is not going to allow me to be able to show you as much. And I do apologize for the camera angles. I am by myself, and it's only me holding the cameras plus making the hog maw. I'm trying to show you as I go different aspects of it, but sometimes I'm not capable of doing that. And here you can see, I'll bring it up here, the hog maw, and you can see how I'm slowly filling the casing here. And a lot of people say, oh, that's horrible, that's horrible. Well, if you ever go to Lancaster County and get fresh sausage, a lot of times what you're getting is it has the natural casings, and the natural casings is actually intestines that the Amish use. And everybody says, oh, I go to the Amish and I get this food and it's all that much better and tastes so much better. That's because you don't realize what's in it. And like I said, sometimes what's in it is you probably don't want to know. And it is what it is. I mean, it's a lot of things is when you don't know, it's good. You know, I'm one of these strong individuals that, strange individuals, not strong, that I'm not a big fan of vegetables at all. But yet, I love vegetable soup. So, it is what it is. I mean, if you don't know what it is, you like it. And, I cooked for 14, 15 years at a hunting camp for upwards to 14 to 16 people a year. And run across some really strange things with people. One of them being a young boy that came up one year, and he just kept eating my spaghetti sauce and just, oh, it's so good, and this, that, and this, and that, and all that stuff. And then All of a sudden one time he says, after about the third serve, he says, "What's this?" And he picked out a piece out of the sauce. Somebody said, "Oh, that's a mushroom." He wouldn't eat no more. So while he didn't know it, it was real good. And after he found out what it was, he didn't like it at all. So it's one of those deals. Okay. I have now gotten this hog maw stuffed, and I will apologize to you because this hog maw is not a normal looking hog maw. Due to the person who ever cleaned this did a horrible job. He didn't know what they were doing, and they actually went ahead and made a hole in the one whole side, which has made it terrible to stuff. So, but it is stuffed now. So what I'm going to do, and I've already chosen that I wasn't going to show you the sewing part of it, because some people have a tremendously weak stomach. And so I am going to shut off the camera while I do that, and then I'm going to prep it to get it, and you'll see it right before I put it into the oven to bake. Okay, so I will be back as soon as I'm done sewing. Okay, what you see now is I'm going to go ahead and spray Pam in the pan. And what I'm going to do is add a little water. Not much, because it will make its own broth. Now, what I have to do, one, I can't forget that I'm on camera. But I'm going to go ahead and take and, again, salt and pepper the outside. I've already put the water in. Place the lid on it. And then I will go ahead and slide it into the oven. Now, I will do it for about 300 degrees for about 2 hours. That time I will take it out. I will take a spoon and I will baste the whole outside of the hog maw, and I will then flip it over to the other side. I will then bump up the temperature to 350 for another about 2 hours. And at that time, I will take the lid off and then take a fork and I will poke the hog maw to see if the potatoes are soft. If the potatoes are soft, I will then turn the temperature up to maybe 425 and pull the lid off and brown it on both sides, okay? And I will show you a picture here shortly of a finished hog maw. Now, due to time constraints, I'm going to go ahead and show you what that hog maw will look like after it is done. Okay, this is after it's done. This is a Channel 8 news footage that I borrowed. But I just wanted to show you what it's done, because this won't be done till after 1 o'clock or so tonight. So I wanted to show it to you. But this is what it would look like. All right. Again, if you have any questions, just hit me up on my email. If not, I hope you enjoyed this and hope you would consider eating this. It is very good, especially if you like the sausage potatoes. A lot of people don't eat the skin, but they just eat the sausage and potatoes. Makes a very hearty meal. All right, thank you for your interest. Have a good night.